Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about past papers and why they are such a good resource to use for revision purposes. So I got something to say first. Before you start doing past papers, make sure that you actually know the content, because if you don't know the content before you're doing past paper, it kind of ruins the point of doing the past paper. There's no point in doing an exam if you don't know the stuff. So there's no point in doing a practice exam if you don't know the stuff. So make sure you know pretty much all the content. You don't have to know everything perfectly. That's what this is going to help with. You want to know the basics, really, but you want to know the stuff in enough detail to answer the questions. So I have 4 perks I've come up with of doing past papers. So let's get straight into the video. But first, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a comment. I respond to pretty much every single comment you guys give, so good chance to chat. But yeah, let's get right into the video. So, perk number 1, we have, it can help you find out the stuff you don't know. So, say you're going through the paper and you don't know how to answer a question, just put a question mark beside it. And then whenever you finish the paper, go back, find all the question marks, and write those topics down that you struggled with. Now, obviously, you're going to mark the paper and you're going to write in the answers, but it helps you to find out the particular bits of the paper. You don't know. So, for example, when I was doing chemistry past papers, there's something about reactions with alkalis and halogens, and I was like, nope. So I had to go and learn that. So yeah, basically doing the past papers enabled me to figure out the stuff that I didn't know fully yet, and then I was able to the next day go and learn that stuff, and then when I did another past paper it came up and I knew it better this time. So you just get more marks by doing that. So number 2, we have getting used to exam questions. Now, questions you may do in class or questions you might get in a booklet may be completely different to the questions you get in exams. Unless, obviously, you get a book of past paper questions, but that's kind of, you know what I mean. So, you have to get used to how the questions are worded, what do the mark schemes want, and particular wording, like in chemistry and biology, really. You have to be very precise with the wording for your questions. You have to make sure you get the definitions bang on to actually get the marks. So, yeah, the more and more past papers you do, the more and more used to them you'll get, the more used to the types of questions they ask, the more used to the types of answers they want. And I mean, it also helps you to just be calmer in the exam situation, which is really useful. Now we go on to perk number 3. We have exam technique. Timings. Can you actually do the exam in the time given? Essays. Can you do the essays? Do you know how to do the essays? Are there multiple choice questions like there are in chemistry for those 10 marks at the start? Do you know how you do that? So you start to develop exam techniques. Make sure you actually time yourself doing the paper and make sure that you can do it in the right time. I think when I was doing an English past paper once, I didn't time it, and 3 hours went by. I think it was a 2.5 hour paper, and 2 hours went by. No, 3 hours went by, and I realized I'd gone way over time and hadn't even finished, so I need to get faster at that at GCSE. So yeah, you need to time yourself. Make sure you know how long you need to spend on each type of question. If there's an essay, how long do you take to write the essay? Like biology usually takes me around 15 minutes to write the essay, but it kind of depends on what it's about. Multiple choice questions, don't rush them. You'll learn not to rush them. I had to learn this when I was going, yep, tick, 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 and then you look at it and actually some of the 1 mark or even 2 mark multiple choice questions could be worth 6 marks elsewhere in the paper. I don't get it. I actually don't get it, but apparently that's just the way it is, and that's what we have to kind of just cope with. Are we going to get light? Oh, that's better. Yeah. And finally, number 4, you'll know what to expect in the exam. Going into the exam completely unaware of what the papers are like is not a good thing. Going into the exam completely unaware of what the paper's like is not a good thing. You want to know what to expect. Going into the exam, right, and number four. Number four. When you go into the exam, you want to know exactly what to expect. And so by doing past papers, you'll kind of get an idea. Like going into the exam, having no clue about what the paper is going to look like, how many questions, how long, not a good idea. But doing past papers will help you get that understanding of how long everything will take, how many questions. Usually chemistry, there's about 16 questions, the 10 are multiple choice, 6 long ones, like very long questions, and a couple of short ones. History, there might be more essays, things like that. Biology, there's about 9 or 10 questions in each paper. Maths, there's about 9 or 10 questions in each paper. So you kind of get this idea of how many questions you'll have to do, how long to devote to each question. You'll have the facts. By this point, you should have the facts. So it's always a great thing when if you go into the exam, you know exactly what's coming, you know how the papers look like, you know how to do them, and you're just ready to go. So those are my 4 perks of past papers. Hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed this one. I love past papers. I actually find them really interesting, really exciting when you do the stuff. And then obviously you can use them to help yourself get the stuff right into your head. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.